Hey, what is up, guys? For several years, the central banks have been criticizing gold, silver, and Bitcoin. They are afraid of gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies because they are not a form of money that they cannot control. In this video, we are going to talk about fiat versus gold and Bitcoin, and we will take a look at why economy continues to get weaker and weaker. Fiat versus gold and cryptocurrencies. People believe that US dollar is reliable and the only form of money that they need, but gold, silver, and potentially Bitcoin are actually the only form of money. People just have been brainwashed and they do not understand the difference between money and currencies. If you would like to know the difference between money and currencies, I will leave a link to the video in the description box below. Real money such as gold, silver, and potentially Bitcoin are beyond the control of central banks. So we can clearly see the conflict of interest and why central banks pushes their printed currencies. That is why central banks have been saying cryptocurrencies are being used for money laundering, smuggling, and illegal activities. On April, Hong Kong Financial Services and Treasury reported on money laundering, terrorism financing, and cryptocurrency market concluded that cryptocurrencies are not particularly involved in either type of crime. There are vulnerabilities related to both crimes in cryptocurrencies, but they are not being used much in either area. In fact, the report found that cash is the most common asset used for money laundering, drug dealing, and terrorism financing. Bitcoin has been used for a ransom attack where a hacker locked down your computer system and demand that you pay ransom. However, many such attacks have been engineered by intelligence agencies, so they could accuse North Korea and Russia of being behind such attacks. In fact, it is ridiculous to use cryptocurrencies to finance terrorism or for money laundering because they can trace the flow of money throughout the process. Every transaction is recorded on publicly available ledger known as blockchain. The truth is, it is pseudo-anonymous, but it is not so difficult for fiat to link your address with your real identity. The best assets to use for buying drugs and financing terrorism is cash, obviously, because you cannot trace cash without tremendous difficulty. Weak economy. ADP reported weakest job gain in a long time, the biggest miss in 7 years. The job situation is not doing well. The numbers have been manipulated for years to try to make everyone to believe that the economy is doing well. But nothing has really changed. What has changed is what the real economy is doing. We are in the recession right now, and it is visible throughout the public equity market. S&P 500 will hit to the bear market in few days. So far it lost 18% since all-time high in September. Nasdaq is officially in the bear market. It dropped by 22% from its all-time high in just a matter of few months. Russell 2000 shows even worse performance than Nasdaq. It dropped more than 25% from its all-time high. Just so you know, guys, an average bear market decline is 41%. So there is a lot of air left to come out of this bubble. Auto market crumbling. Retail, GDP, and many economic indicators show that everything is starting to fall apart. Retailers, restaurants, and auto dealers are not showing expected profits. Auto dealers have been selling cars to subprime people, and now they cannot afford cars. Ford is planning to cut $25.5 billion in cost by 2022. Ford will attempt to restructure its business while it's cutting a lot of jobs. The smaller subprime auto dealers are starting to implode. Larger lenders will be next, and then the whole system is going to collapse, which is why car companies are trying to cut costs. They are trying to learn from 2008, when many cars companies such as GM kept spending, taking out more credit then auto market collapsed and they will force to cut. Housing market on verge. In this housing market, mortgage rates have jumped to 2011 levels. A 30 years mortgage rate with 20% down payment jumped to almost 5%, according to Mortgage Banker Association. At 5%, a 30 years fixed rate will be equal to the highest rate in 2013. At 5.2%, it will be the highest level since 2010. And it will hit 5.5%, it will be the highest since 2008. Before 2008, interest rates were going up, and then in 2008, they began to fall, just before everything fell apart. We are now approaching the 2008 rates. In a couple of weeks, we are probably going to hit it, which will push a lot of people out of the housing market. The biggest difference between 2008 and now is that home prices have skyrocketed by more than 50% in the same market, such as Dallas and San Francisco. People who have lost their jobs or lost full-time job and gone to part-time or lower-paying job, as well as other no-wage increases, cannot afford those homes. Soon we are going to see 0% down mortgage, which is a sign of the end. Mortgage applications were down 2.5%, and they are going to continue to decline because people being thrown out of the market, which will fall apart. Fed and cryptocurrencies. The Fed made some headlines saying that they are going to look at the cryptocurrencies, and then they announced that they are going to do something completely different. Central bank's electronic money for all, which is a terrible idea for humanity. Fed will sell you this idea claiming it will be safer, easier to use, it will be much faster, no one will steal your money, tax will be deducted automatically, you will not have to use accountant anymore, and so on and on. But what they're not going to tell you is they will invade your privacy. Everything will be highly controlled and centralized. Basically, they will not tell you that you will be turned to slave. Central banks' electronic money will be close substitute for cash and make it easier to say goodbye to cash. Especially, it's a perfect time, because United States can default on 21 trillion national debt, which is not possible to pay it off anyway. What they want to do is to make post offices act like banks, as they do in some foreign countries. There is a bill in the House to have 36,000 post offices offer basic bank services, which apparently will reach unbanked and underbanked Americans and help wipe out payday lenders. In fact, the real goal is to help Fed electronic money system. If Fed electronic money system moves forward, the Fed could then set interest rates on saving accounts and thereby have more control over the economy. Do not follow Fed's advice. Cryptocurrencies, gold and silver. The Fed has been looking at cryptocurrencies and have consistently warned investors to stay away from all three markets. Wherever they say not to be in, such as gold, silver and cryptocurrencies, is usually where you want to be. And wherever they say to be, such as bond market, is where you do not want to be. The reason Fed and government are so against gold, silver and cryptocurrencies is because they do not control those assets. The Fed wants control and centralization, not decentralization, which is why Fed hates physical gold and silver, because they have no control over it. The same holds for their new electronic money. It is not just cryptocurrency, it is means for Fed to control interest rates and most importantly to invade your privacy. We are headed for a transition. The system is being moved from west to east, and fiat currencies like dollar are heading for massive decline. In fact, US dollar lost more than 95% of its purchasing power since 1913, when Federal Reserve was created. They continue printing currency and at the same time they devalued your purchasing power. You think that when you receive your paycheck and you are fine, but the truth is this system was designed that over time your ability to buy stuff that you like will decrease. So if you have any savings, I think it would be wise to convert at least some part of your savings into real money such as gold and silver. We came to the end. Let me know what you guys think about Fed manipulating US dollar and negativity towards Bitcoin and gold. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. And if you're new to this channel, do not forget to subscribe for more animated videos about cryptocurrency and financial market. Other than that, thank you for watching. See you next video.